Hello everyone. Okay, so we're now back for the next video, which is all about the actual pushing stage of labour. So this is the part where the baby's going to start making the way into the world. So this is what we call in the medical industry. This is fully dilated. This is a maximum dilation in order for baby to start pushing their way through. So at this point, your midwife is going to be helping you find a position that you're going to be comfortable giving birth in. So this could be sitting, it could be kneeling, it could be leaning over a birthing ball, it could be in a birthing pool. So helping you find that position is absolutely vital, where you're going to feel comfortable and you're giving the baby the most optimum chance to come through the birth canal and through the pelvis. Okay, so we need to be creating lots of wonderful space for your baby. So if you think about how a baby is actually born, it's a little bit like, do you know what? It's a little bit like one of those slides at a park, the water park, where you've got a real sort of steep drop, and then there's like the little bit that flicks up at the end, and they've got to do like this big slide. So the muscles have been working really hard to start to gather up the cervix. So we're pulling and dilating. So all of the muscle is kind of gathered at the very top of the uterus, and now those muscles are going to start to work, pushing your baby down. Okay. So every contraction that you're going to feel, the baby's head's just going to start to become lower and lower. So these contractions are going to be a lot less now. They're a lot less frequent, but they're a lot more powerful. Okay. Each contraction's going to be moving your baby down further and further and further in towards giving birth. So they're going to feel a lot stronger, but a lot less frequent. So these contractions are going to be potentially every like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So they're going to be a lot less frequent. So in terms of the stages of it, you are going to be feeling those contractions. You're going to be working through the contractions the same way as you were before. Okay, so using your Ujjayi breath, using your golden thread breath. My mind went blank then. But now there's going to be different physiological things happening. So we're now going to be entering in, once baby starts to emerge and starts pushing through, there's going to be the crowning stage. So this is the bit where midwife is going to start to see the first bit of your baby's head. Okay, so this is the crowning stage. Now at this point, the crowning stage is where obviously we're going to need to start breathing as deeply as possible. Okay, so this is going to be the birthing breath, and the birthing breath is where you're breathing as deeply as possible and focus on moving the breath down the spine. Okay, and so really this is essentially that pushing stage. Okay, it's actually quite a natural feeling. You will naturally know what to do, but a lot of midwives encouraged you to tuck the chin down and really bear down. We've all been there, ladies, when we've been to the toilet and we're having a difficult time doing a number 2, and you're kind of bearing down, and that is exactly the feeling and sensation you're going to get. Is your baby starts to make its way down and starts to settle down. You're going to feel that urge. It feels like you want to poo. Okay, there's no way of dressing it up. We all know what we're here for, and you will feel that pressure against the perineum, against the bowels. Everything will feel like you just want to bear down. So we're going to be focusing on that now. Okay, so this is the birthing breath. And I would like you to imagine that it's a little bit like a cafetiere. Okay, so you know how you've got a cafetiere and you've got the little plunger bit at the top and the coffee sat there at the bottom. So imagine what it's like when you're pushing that cafetiere down, okay? So you're pushing the cafetiere down and you're focusing the breath with it. So let's imagine what it's like. We're going to take a breath in at the very top here. So inhaling. And with the exhale, pushing down, and imagine drawing that energy down the spine and into towards the birth canal and the perineum. So you're kind of pushing down. It's very difficult to really 100% practice this when you just kind of sat around on your sofa or whatever, because it's one of those things that once you're actually there, you'll understand that sensation a heck of a lot more. One of my ladies that have given birth recently said to me, when you were teaching this in the class, I didn't 100% understand it until I was actually in that situation of that bearing down, that pushing down sensation. What is going to help you is using sound, okay? So using a sound. So inhaling all the way to the top. So we've got that plunger sat there and we're exhaling, pushing down, drawing that energy down, pulling everything down, the muscles working down deep in towards your bottom. You will understand this when it happens, okay? There's not a huge amount of practicing that you can do because at this stage it all feels a little bit strange, and you're probably thinking I'm talking absolute nonsense and it's all a bit weird, but once you actually get in the situation you'll understand. There will come a point when the baby's head starts to properly crown, okay? And this is where your midwife is going to encourage you to change the way that you'll breathe. If you start doing really big breaths at this point, there is a risk that you're going to tear. So when your baby's head is emerging, we need to really lighten that breath. It needs to become really, really light and soft, okay? So when baby's crowning, you'll be asked to take a break, and then you're going to be doing these little out breaths, these little pantsies. Just little tiny breaths. Just imagine that you've got a little feather and you're just blowing the feather gently. And you can almost imagine the feather actually ruffling. So just very gentle. Your midwife is going to be there 100% all the way through. So they will be encouraging you to breathe like this. They will know when to encourage you to do this. At this point, you may feel a little bit of a stinging sensation. Perhaps it will feel quite hot at that point. As obviously your baby's head is now emerging, and your vagina is now at its absolute maximum. So you're gonna potentially feel a little bit of burning sensation there. So it's important that we don't put too much pressure on at this point because we want to keep everything nice and light, okay? Then when you get another contraction through, it will help encourage you to then carry on and birth your baby. So the birthing breath, the cafetiere breath, allowing that conscious awareness to descend down the body with each out breath, taking a breath as deeply as you can, and then focusing on moving that energy. That can you imagine that a ball of light, a ball of energy, kind of starting here. And you're exhaling that energy out, yeah? And it's coming down and out, down and out. So we're coming down the spine, pushing down and then out, okay? The third stage, so once baby's born, you know, we've got baby in your arms, it's all very emotional, it's fantastic, probably lots of tears, you know, it's finally here. Your baby, after 9 months of being inside your womb, is finally here, and it's joy and it's exciting and it's emotional. And baby will be checked over, make sure everything's all right. There will then come a point where you will notice that the cord will eventually stop pulsating, okay? And this is really important. You know, the NHS are really driving this forward now about the delayed cord clamping, allowing that beautiful rich blue to continue along the umbilical cord until it's actually time to cut the cord. So once this cord stops pulsating, and this can take a little while, it can take anything from a couple of minutes to maybe 10 minutes, but then there will become a point where we need to move into the third stage, okay? So it's either going to be managed in terms of you will have an injection in order to speed up this process, or indeed you will end up deciding, no, I don't want that, and I simply want to let nature take its course. Okay, so if that's the case, make your decision whichever it is. You'll start to feel the contractions once again, very, very similar, quite strong. And this is where the placenta is going to start breaking away from the wall of the uterus and start to make its way down, feeling exactly like labour, but obviously lasting nowhere near as long. And once the placenta is coming out, you will need to kind of carry on with I would say a similar kind of breath, that birthing breath, that pushing down, that inhaling and then drawing all that awareness and pushing down, bearing down in towards the perineum to push out, and then it'll all be done. And that's it, you know, it's finally come, it's finally here, and you now start the rest of you know, your life, either with your first baby where you're making a family, or second baby where, you know, it's the next member of your family, which is awesome. So I hope all goes well. Congratulations when you finally get there. Any questions, please just, you know, type a comment and let me know. All right, bye lovelies, bye.